Beekeepers have objected and held up the cutting because of the ironbark through here is of extreme value. So I'll show you now what an Ausfell wattle actually is, and so that you can actually see what we're talking about. Then you can walk into here and we'll show it if they've actually dropped the trees onto the top of it. The Ausfell goes right up the gully. It's classed as a vulnerable species, and forestry should take care before they cut. They should have excluded this area, which was originally a drought refuge, and the Ausfell goes up into the forest in that way. This is quite a significant area. Vulnerable means that if we continue further practices, if we continue what we're doing, it dies. That's what it actually means. And it goes from vulnerable to rare. I mean, isn't it bizarre? Until it's rare, we don't bother trying to do anything about it. Neighbour has gone. And so it's got that way that it regenerates. It's very poor at regenerating. So that's why it's inconspicuous, but forestry should know that it's here. They should inspect.
So they don't know it's here?
They haven't looked.
Okay.
What they're doing is they look at maps, they choose an area, they send people out to do the cutting under contract with 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks training, and then these people, they said, we wanted a basal area, which is so much timber per hectare. That's what you do. And they just cut it. Then they open it up to free firewood, and the people come in here and they just, it's not there. They believe that what they're doing, it is actually lawful. Yeah. And they just drive all over it and pound it into the ground, take the wood. The amount of wood here should last 2 or 3 months, but it's going to be gone in 10 days. So, and I have absolutely no quarrels with them at all. This is a legal operation. Well, first of all, the forestry should have been on the job here while the timber was being collected. They weren't. That's negligent from their point of view. They should not be cutting here because of the enormous value there is here in the honey production. The bees have been shifted out of here in the winter into the almonds, and they're now going to canola. And the almonds are worth nearly $300 million now. And it is totally dependent on these sites like this, which are incredibly rare. And also there is no money to be made in these forests. These forests are running, these are taxpayer subsidised works, giving wood away free. For what end? So you've actually got an economic reason to protect it into a park system. It should be in the park system. The reason why it is not in the park system is that during the box ironbark report, when it was done in 2002, they decided there would be a national park between Heathcote and Rushworth, and the Rushworth mill had no timber, so they gave them the Wellsford. As soon as the report was out, they took the money and they closed the mill down. So what do we have here now is this.
And there is a beautiful old tree with hollows that has been cut. And you should not cut trees which are uncommon trees which have very little firewood value, called cherry ballard. And just in this small patch there are 2 cherry ballards that have been cut. They're not firewood trees, they're trees which were cut through the inexperience of the contractors or subcontractors that came out here to do the dirty work for DSE. Yeah. DSE should have been here supervising, as Stuart said, and they should be here now supervising what's happening. The people are doing this legally, but they're not doing it the way they ought to be doing it because there's nobody here to tell them.